Welcome, it's your friendly neighborhood Badger here, and I'm back for a little bit of a different video. We're not so much talking about how hyped we are for 3.16 Scourge in this video, but more so talking on potentially a little bit of an oversight from GGG with a few new mechanics coming in 3.16. Basically, in a nutshell, it seems like darkness farming, very kind of budget darkness farming is back. For those of you who don't know what darkness farming is basically taking a character into Delve that's suited for darkness farming and trying to reduce as much damage from the darkness itself, so you can just kind of zoom sideways, use your flares, keep zooming, use your flares again, keep zooming, and just be able to pick up a ton of currency, of fossils, of resonators, without really having to bother too much about needing to have just a constant line of flares or only going off for like a couple of seconds. This is going to mean that you're going to be in the darkness for minutes, potentially, at a time. This was brought to me by community member Slosh, so thank you so much, Slosh, for kind of bringing this to my attention, and I think he's very correct in saying that, look, GGG probably doesn't intend for this to come back because of the numerous times they've tried to nerf this in the past. Now, darkness is a type of damage over time that's not chaos, it's not physical, it's not any sort of element or chaos or physical or anything like that. It's its own damage type, but it can be reduced through either reduced damage taken over time or take no damage over time with the new Trickster notable on its tree, or even less damage taken over time from, say, for example, Lethe, which is coming as well. So we're getting a couple of different ways to further reduce or lessen the damage taken over time. Now, what does this actually mean? It means that if you build a character with enough either life regeneration or life recovery, or enough ES regeneration or recovery, if you are playing a CI version, you can potentially go super far on a very small budget in Delve without really even needing to bother to take your cart anywhere. So this has a lot of implications. It has a lot of implications on the market of Delve currency and everything like that. But I'm mainly just bringing this to everyone's attention, not saying, hey, go and do this. I'm more bringing this to people's attention saying, this is potentially an oversight from GGG. And yeah, I kind of feel like, as someone with a little bit of a voice, it's something that, you know, I might want to put out there and be like, hey, look, yeah, this might be a problem. It might be, I don't know, maybe this is the intention of GGG. So I'm just going to quickly go over everything here for you. So first of all, Slosh does just basically showcase that reduced damage taken over time from the Trickster right here does actually reduce the damage taken over time. So first of all, he does it without the node, and he bases it on ES degen, when you can no longer hear the ES degenning because there is a sound effect for it. Then he knows that, you know, that 2229 shield has been degened, and then he checks the darkness number right here. So without the node, you can see the darkness number stacks up to, you can see the ES go down right here. Darkness number stacks up to 26, just about 27, but he starts taking a little bit of life there. He allocates it here, 10% reduced, and that 27, if we fast forward a little bit, well, we can just watch it here. I think it goes up to about 29, which is, you know, basically 26 to 29, that's basically 10% reduced damage taken right there. So it definitely does work. So the implications of this does mean, potentially as well, that the new node from Trickster, which replaces Ghost Dance, it provides every 10 seconds take no damage over time for 5 seconds. Now, depending on how this is coded, it doesn't say immunity to damage over time, so that probably won't reduce, it probably won't remove your darkness stacks. If it does reduce your darkness stacks, GGG, you need to change this, because this will probably, this node alone basically means that you can infinitely travel through the darkness. Granted, you're probably going to keep your stacks, but it does mean that every 5 seconds, take no damage over time, so you can use that to recover your life. And then around that as well, you can also use Lethe Shade, take 50% less damage over time if you've started taking damage over time in the past second, which means that 4 of those 5 seconds where you're taking damage over time, you're taking 50% less, 20% less damage taken if you've not been hit recently from Kintsugi, 10% from the Trickster, 10% from 10% from a shield craft, I think, or a shield hunter shield, I think it is, and maybe 5% from a craft as well, or instead of. So either 5% or 10%, which does mean 40% reduced damage taken over time, and then 50% less. So you're taking, 70% less damage taken over time for 1 second, and then 40% for the next 4 seconds. Then immunity, recover that back up, keep going, put down a flare to reset your darkness, and then keep going and keep going and keep going. The implications of this are massive. Basically means if you just get, a fair amount of recovery, day 1 on a Trickster, and around about 10 to 13k evasion, which both are really, really easy to do on a Trickster, you can basically darkness farm at low to mid tier levels on day 1 and generate a ton of currency, probably potentially more than any other day 1 farming. If you know what you're doing. Now, I'm not going to say that absolutely anyone can just jump and do this. There are, a couple of 5-head mechanics in there to make sure that you're not just, dying. But if you want to look at this video, I'll link it down below. Give a sub to Slosh Money right there. It's a really interesting video right here. Yeah, he very much showcases what this is actually doing. Yeah, that's all I really have to say with all of this. I hope it makes a bit of sense. GGG, if you're watching this, if you want this to be in the game, that's totally fine. If this was an oversight, maybe you could potentially change this before it comes through, because to me, also, it does look like it's, yeah, it's going to be a lot. So the reason that you do need a bit of evasion is just so you don't really get hit by those low-level enemies as you're zooming through the darkness. Just as long as you've got that evasion, it should be totally fine. If you do get hit, once or twice, it probably doesn't mean too much. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, I'm going to be getting out some more content as well on those new gloves that were announced today and all of the implications of those new gloves. I think they might even be chase gloves as well because they seem absolutely broken. And some other stuff coming soon. Now, I know you're all waiting for some Ignite build guides, waiting for a couple of other build guides that I've talked about as well, Dominating Blow. Keep your pants on. They're not coming until PoE at least gets updated in some form where we can actually start to play around with the new tree, and I can showcase what these builds are all about. So please, just wait. I'll still be doing testing, all of that kind of stuff, but, it's coming. It's coming, so hold your horses. Thanks for watching, though. If you enjoyed the content, hit the sub button down below, hit that like button, and I'll catch you on the flippity flop. Until next time, Badger is out.